Set. Just let me know when to talk and I'll start. And welcome to Podium Esports coverage of the cutoff race for the round of 12 for the 2021 Midwest Sim Racing Association Premier Series playoffs. Tonight we bring you live coverage of the Shorba's Racing Graphics 125 live from iRacing's virtual Charlotte Motor Speedway in Concord, North Carolina. I'm your host, Joshua Lee. Happy to be joined alongside Briar LaPrade with Ryan Bauer in the virtual production trailer using cameras provided by Dougie Beard. Briar, there isn't too much to say about the Charlotte Motor Speedway Roval, one of the toughest tracks when it comes to iRacing and NASCAR. This track has a lot of character, has a lot of difficult areas to it. As a driver, when you're coming into this race, especially as a playoff elimination race, gotta have a lot of pressure.
Oh yeah, definitely a lot of pressure. And with the new road course tire being released, or an updated road course tire to the iRacing service on these NASCARs, there's a lot of changes coming in for these guys. I'm sure they had to adapt to that coming into this, but yeah, it should be a difficult little challenge they got coming up.
And even with this being a elimination race in the playoffs, just sort of adds a little bit more flair to this race. If you're underneath that cut line, how are you approaching this race? Because especially for a couple of the drivers, maybe 10 or more points back from that cut line, who are almost in a must-win situation, they need to run up front. And if you're running closer to the mid-pack or back of the field, it can become very stressful very quickly.
Very, yes. And with the stage points coming into play here, being a playoff driver, it's going to be a lot of pressure to try and collect those playoff points, and you want to probably be super cautious at the beginning. That's what I would do, being a playoff driver. Turn one can always be dangerous. You never know what can come.
Those stage points will be interesting. Of course, 10 stage points to each of the winners of the stages. Here's exactly where we are when it comes to the playoffs of the MSRA Premier Series. Of course, started in the round of 16. We took 4 off of that. Now we're racing here in the round of 12. The only 2 drivers who are locked in is Boyd Hogan with 2 wins in this round at Las Vegas and Talladega. Then Ralph Hutchison is also locked in based on points, being 71 points above the cut line. He is not even going to start this race, so he is completely locked in. He didn't need to start it at all. He will still be 11 points above the cut line at the end of the day. But Vincent Arthur looking to lock himself in at the end of stage number 1. Logan Helton looking to lock snuck himself in with 2 good finishes in the first 2 stages of the night. Then McWhorter, Shorba, Davis, and Theodore will try and stay above that top 8 cut line. Clayton Hoffman, Ryan Strunk, Chris Severa, and John Mullins all in must-win situations. Unfortunately, we will not be seeing the 64 of John Mullins out on the track tonight. So every other one of those drivers, Severa, Hoffman, and Strunk, will be looking for victory lane to solidify themselves in the round of 8 of the MSRA Premier Series playoffs. Briar, Charlotte Motor Speedway in the backyard of NASCAR in Concord, North Carolina. This track is so difficult. 16 turns as opposed to the normal 4 we're used to seeing at the Charlotte Motor Speedway. That infield section can catch a lot of drivers off guard.
Oh, absolutely. Marcus Smith probably had a great time putting this event together when it first came around. The drivers, I don't know how they felt about it, but I'm sure they were excited to take on a new course, and I'm sure these drivers here tonight are ready to take on this course. I'm sure they put in a lot of time into their setups and whatnot, and I'm ready to see the action, see what we got.
That action will be coming up relatively soon as qualifying is about to wrap its way up. Here's how we'll get to the checkered flag tonight. Stage number 1, 14 laps. We will have a full course caution at the end of that stage. Same thing with stage number 2. We'll go racing for 17 laps there. Then a final stage of 24 laps to get us to 55 laps, 125.4 miles on the docket for tonight. 4 sets of tires in the pits, no fast repairs, and we'll have a handful of opportunities at a green-white checkered if we do make it into overtime. Getting ready to already take a look at the starting grid. And Briar, final thoughts before we take to the starting grid. Obviously, we're looking at the timing sheet. Vincent Arthur, Boyd Hogan showing their speed at the top, but who are you watching to possibly get the win tonight? Because this track is almost like an equalizer like we saw at Talladega 1 week ago.
Yeah, absolutely. I got my eyes on Boyd, though. He's looking for 3 in a row. Vincent, as you said, on top of the sheets right now, might have a challenge for Boyd taking away his 3-win streak there. But yeah, I'm excited. A little nervous. I gotta see what's going on, but we'll see.
He's also looking for 15 total wins this season. Boyd Hogan will start from the outside of the front row. Vincent Arthur is going to walk away with that pole position with a 1:19.089. Chris Severa and Jacob Shorba are going to share that second row. And the Davis brothers, Stephen Davis and Brandon Davis, share row 3. Briars, we take a look at the next page.
Yeah, absolutely. We got row 4 here with James Howard, Clayton Hoffman. Row 5, John Theodore, Logan Helton. I got my eyes on Logan Helton, too. He's a talented guy on the iRacing service. Along with John Theodore, it's a stacked row 5. Row 6, got David Santini with Joseph McWhorter alongside.
David Santini, winner last night in the MSRA National Series here at Roval, leading from flag to flag. Braxton DeWeese, we have seen some great starts from him, with him being only in his 5th total start tonight. Has had a great last 4 races with 3 top 5s. He looks for more tonight. Zach York, Ryan Strunk, Evan Longaker going to share the top 8 rows, and everybody that'll be taking the green flag here tonight from virtual Charlotte for 55 laps of action. And once again, this is the elimination race of the playoffs. Mostly cloudy skies. Luckily, Briar, we know that the Charlotte Roval already is not the most gripped up track. The tires do spin a lot here. Mostly cloudy, 86-degree track temp, at least going to help them a little bit in the grip department until that cloud cover moves off.
Oh yeah, it looks like a beautiful day in Charlotte, if you ask me. These drivers, I feel like, are lucky that rain is not on the surface yet. We know that iRacing has hinted at that. I feel like this race would be 10 times, not maybe 100 times wilder if we had rain here. But you've seen last year the Roval race in real life was a crazy event. I don't expect much, much different, honestly. I feel like these drivers are really going to get after it, especially with it being a cutoff race.
Yeah, and that playoff cutoff is going to come into play all night. Remind you of the drivers who are fighting from under the cut line. Clayton Hoffman is one of them. He starts P8. Ryan Strunk is also one of them. He starts P15. Chris Severa is one of them. He has the best chance out of anybody, starting P3 on the field in the number 62. We'll be watching him all night long. End of the line penalties for 2 drivers in the field. One of them, unfortunately, is one of those drivers I just mentioned, the 12 of Clayton Hoffman and the number 49 of Zach York. Both will be going to the end of the longest line here on the initial start for failing to complete the minimum amount of practice that is required for the MSRA Premier Series. So Hoffman goes from 8th down to the tail end of the field, and then 49 of Zach York won't have to go very far. Qualified P14 off of provisionals. He did not set a time in the qualifying session. Breyer there, 2 by 2, getting ready to take the green flag. And if you're one of those drivers, I'll use Chris Severa as an example because, you know, he's starting inside of row 2, currently sits 17 below the cut line, basically in a must-win situation. What are the nerves like as you get ready to take the green flag, knowing that the difference between you running for a championship and you being eliminated is only about 55 laps away?
Yeah, absolutely. If I was John Theodore, Clayton Hoffman, Ryan Strunk, Steven Davis, any of those names you listed, I'd be super nervous coming into this race, especially under pace laps. You know it's about to be go time, and your fate's going to be decided here after 55 laps. If I was in a must-win situation, I'd, like I said, probably play it safe. But we'll see. You can have any kind of danger at any point in time. It's the Roval. You know, a lot happens here. A lot's going to be going on. Just got to make sure you hit your marks each and every lap.
Trying to play it safe is the name of the game. If you want to finish and move on to the next round of the playoffs, first you must finish this race here at the Roval. We'll be watching for 2 drivers to lock themselves in on points before the conclusion of the race tonight. First one being Vincent Arthur. If he earns 7 or more points in stage number 1, he will advance himself automatically based on points into the round of 8. If Logan Helton earns more than 19 combined points in the first 2 stages of the night, he will qualify in on points as well. Everybody back from there is not safe, and we'll look for a bit of security here tonight as we get ready to go racing from the Charlotte Roval. The playoffs are reaching a crescendo. We have half the playoffs over and done, and we still have plenty more action that is coming up here for the MSRA Premier Series. The 24 of Vincent Arthur for Great Lakes Motorsports in control of the field, and let's go racing! Elimination time from the Roval. A fantastic start already for the 24 of Vincent Arthur. He leads the field coming out of turn number 4 to the small back straightaway that sits in the middle of the infield section. Top 4, all playoff drivers. You can extend that down to the top 6, being all drivers who are currently in the MSRA Premier Series playoffs. As everybody gets up to speed, you're on board with Jacob Shorba, trying to get back onto the banking. One of the most difficult portions of this racetrack, Breyer, is coming up here. This backstretch chicane used to be a lot faster than it is now, but now it's one of the heaviest braking zones on this course. Got to go to a dead stop and get through a fast left-right chicane.
Absolutely. This backstretch chicane is one of the toughest corners on the track. It looks like we had a clean turn 1, by the way. I want to point that out. I'm really surprised. But as these guys single file out and get ready to turn a lot of laps here, hopefully they're ready to go because we're racing. So yeah, we'll see how clean they can keep it, and hopefully everyone can keep the car clean and keep it going.
Logan Helton already getting his elbows out. He tried to get by the 92 of Steven Davis. You can see Davis getting a little bit too much up on that turtle curve. To the inside goes Helton, and a perfect pass up into the top 5 for Logan Helton as we take a look on back to that number 92 of Steven Davis. Davis, one of the drivers that is currently in the playoffs, is looking to stay in the playoffs. He only sits 8 points above the cut line. Watch him to be one of the drivers tonight that is going for a good result. And how about James Howard, currently fighting with Steven Davis, or was fighting with Steven Davis, I should say, in that number 29 machine, making his first start in the MSRA Premier Series tonight. Not only a good effort in qualifying, a really good run that he's currently having, up one spot from where he started in P6. Live points up on the side of your screen now. We'll be taking a look at those all night long, and already no change in those drivers. Chris Severa still sits in the back, and here comes James Howard. What an early run from this driver, Breyer. His first start in the Premier Series, already getting into it with Logan Helton, and Helton has to take a trip through the turtle curves.
Yeah, Logan Helton would look like he's off to a speedy start, and with an error right there, he's going to be attacked here. Going to go side by side coming here through the last chicane. See what Logan can do to try and counterattack what he had done to him. He's going to get the pass done, it looks like, over the turtles. Clean, well done.
On board the 32, Joseph McWhorter, as we look up at that battle between Helton and Howard. This puts Logan Helton back into P5 for the moment. As here's ground zeros, Joseph McWhorter, one back at Richmond to lock himself into this round, the round of 12, looking to make his way into the round of 8 as well. 27 good to the cut line, but Breyer, we know, even being 27 good to the cut line, that is just not exactly still where you want to be. He's not locked in. He still has an opportunity to fall below that cut line tonight.
We did, as you were saying that, we had one go off. We got trouble getting on back for the banking. James Howard around. Not sure who hit him. I think that was Steven Davis there. He's on the cut line, I believe. But James Howard looks like he's gotten the back going here. And that's the troubles right there. Steven being on the cut line, I believe. Just having those struggles. You don't want to have to deal with damage and be down on any kind of straight speed. You want to have every little thing you can have. So we'll see what we can clear up here. I believe he's going. Yeah, he's good.
Yeah. So that was contact as well with Steven Davis. Looks like he locked it up going through turn 6 of the Roval. There he goes off the racing course and into the grass. Let's see, comes back onto the course, and there's the contact with Steven Davis coming back on. Can be difficult to keep the car under you, especially if you're going through the grass, Breyer. Just, you could see he did not have a lot of control over that car until he got back onto the asphalt, and when he got back onto the asphalt, that is when Steven Davis was there, gave him a little bit of a shot to the rear bumper.
Yeah, wrong place, wrong time for Steven Davis. Got a feel for him being on the cut line. So we'll see how he can rebound after that. James Howard looks like he's gotten it back going. John Theodore following him here into the double right. That corner up there is blind also. You don't want to have any kind of trouble on the other end of that and you drive straight into an incident. You don't want that to happen. James Howard was luckily off into the grass, and a lot of drivers avoided it besides Steven Davis, obviously. But it looks like he's been fine so far, getting it back going. And John Theodore looks like he's kind of reeling in James Howard. We'll see what he's got.
James Howard, a good effort other than that lockup so far tonight. Here is one of the drivers outside looking in for the playoffs, the 62 of Chris Severa, trying to get above that cut line, and can be difficult. 17 points below it right now, basically in a must-win situation. Does not want to rely on those points. One of the more up and down drivers this season has been Logan Helton. 32 points good to the cut line. Won a couple of rounds ago to cap off and make his way into this round. Has not won so far in this round. There you can see the first 2 races of this round. 6th and 14th at Vegas and Talladega. Luckily, it was enough to keep him above the cut line, Breyer, but Helton still has a decent amount of work to do. He is not in the clear just yet.
Yeah, beautiful paint there, by the way, with the red, white, and blue from Splash and Go graphics. The Nexus Esports driver looks like he's still chugging along, doing good. He started 10th, and he's already up to 5th, I believe. Still hanging around in 5th. So I think he's got a piece to contend. Maybe we'll see.
Remember, points are still up for grabs in those stages. 45 maximum, 45 minimum points with the stage wins as well. There'll be 25 points minimum when it comes to the end of the race, or stage number 3 that these drivers can get, with only 16 drivers taking the green flag tonight. There's an interesting run from Vincent Arthur here, an interesting move, I should say, using the Formula Rim. Now, we've seen this prior from Bobby Zelensky, most notably in the top step of eNASCAR, the Coca-Cola iRacing series, but we see it a lot from these drivers when they're on road courses to use more of a road course rim on their wheels, specifically the Fanatec wheels. Are you one of those drivers that likes to do that? Can you do that, first of all? And do you think it's a good move for Vincent Arthur to go more off of what he's used to and more into what he thinks is going to be better on a road course?
Unfortunately, I'm not one of those drivers. I got the good old Logitech G29. I've used that for years. But it is interesting to see how these drivers approach using what wheel, depending on what type of track surface they got. Sorry, but yeah, Bobby Zelensky uses it in the eNASCAR Coca-Cola series. It just depends on what they're comfortable with. If they're comfortable with using Formula Rim on a road course, it just works out. They might pick up some speed just being comfortable. Being comfortable at a road course is one of the top things you need to have heading into a road course race.
And Bobby Zelensky is comfortable with it everywhere. That's why he uses it everywhere. He never goes to an oval rim. He always has that Formula Rim working for him. Pass for 4th place. Logan Helton goes right on by Jacob Shorba in the 30. But Helton up in a P4. Shorba doesn't look like he's done, though. Hard into the braking zone. Trying to get back at Helton, but just take a look at how that 63 can run away. Already a second is the gap in between Helton and Shorba. Shorba, one of those drivers above the cut line, in on points currently. 13th at Vegas, 6th in Talladega for this round. Trying to capitalize and move his way into the round of 8. He's also our in-race reporter and the race sponsor here for the Shorba's Racing Graphics 125 at the virtual Charlotte Motor Speedway Roval. We will get an interview with him during our stage break. That's coming up here in only about a handful of laps, about 8 laps actually. Lap number 14. We'll take that first stage break of the night. Brandon Davis has coincidentally found his brother Steven on the racetrack. Steven Davis currently runs P7, Brandon Davis P8, and look at them right next to each other using the VR headsets, using both, I believe, the same wheel as well, right next to each other. Brian, you were talking pre-race how you want to be comfortable with another driver sitting right next to you while you are racing. They are sitting directly next to each other. We believe on the same table as well, but they both have their wheels hooked on.
Yeah, I don't know how they do that, but props to them. I don't know how they do it. I'd be uncomfortable, but they seem pretty comfortable with each other as the podium cars out there are running pretty much nose to tail. They seem pretty even on speed. But yeah, I don't know how they do that. That's a pretty interesting little thing they got going on there. As one locks up, ooh, that was close.
It was a 91 of Brandon Davis who locked up, had to take into the infield to avoid an incident with his brother. He'll take a little bit of a slowdown. You're on board with Boyd Hogan. This is the battle for the lead currently, and in terms of best lap times, 0.3 faster is the 24 of Vincent Arthur you are currently looking at now, but Boyd Hogan has started to gain a little bit of speed back. Lap time's already down for these leaders by about 2 seconds due to tire wear, but take a look at Boyd Hogan breathing down Vincent Arthur's neck right now, trying to get to the lead as we have an incident in the infield with John Theodore. We'll stay on the battle for the lead here for the moment, as here comes Arthur coming onto the banking. What can Boyd Hogan do, Briar? What are his options to try and get this lead?
Personally, at a road course, I wait for a mistake. You got to pressure him into a mistake, because hitting your marks, like I said earlier, is a very important thing. Vincent keeps going. He seems pretty good. He's hitting his marks, and he's keeping Boyd behind him, but Boyd's just stalking and hoping for a mistake out of him and maybe get around him for the lead some laps before the stage.
Something we have seen from Boyd Hogan this year really is just his effect to get faster over a run, and that has been at ovals, that has been at road courses this season. Just seems like the longer the green flag run, the faster and faster Boyd Hogan gets to running on the racetrack. But Chris Severa also is starting to catch this lead group, could possibly make it a 3-car battle at the front. Still a little bit of ways away from that. He's just trying to keep up with these front guys, but but in terms of lap times, his best lap time is a couple of hundredths faster than Boyd Hogan. Last time by, faster than both Arthur and Hogan at the front of the field. Don't count out Chris Severa. He is up here at the front, but Boyd Hogan is right on the back bumper. He's going for the move into the chicane. They're side by side for the race lead. Hogan's gonna have the inside advantage. Can he complete the pass? He will, and he slams the door on the 24. A beautiful pass by Boyd Hogan. Now gonna run away with the race lead.
Yeah, absolutely. That was a beautiful pass by Boyd. Now it's time to settle in. Make sure you're keeping those rears on the car and pull away. See if you can go win the stage. And Chris is pulling in. I don't know. He might be able to battle with Vincent here. Vincent looks to be falling off just a tiny bit, but he did a great job trying to hold off Boyd for as long as he did. I know Boyd's a very successful racer on the service, but Chris, he looks to be a little bit faster than Vincent. We'll see if Chris can get some stage points here by time lap 14 rolls around.
Looking for stage points, and that will help them in the point standings tonight to make it into the next round of the playoffs. Remember, Boyd Hogan going for 3 in a row, 15 total wins, and is trying to completely sweep the round of 12 here for the MSRA Premier Series playoffs. We'll see if he'll be able to do that tonight. It's going to be a huge feat if he is able to do that. On board with Chris Severa, driver on the outside of the cut line. Super important for him to be running up here, trying to catch the 24 Vincent Arthur, and basically doing exactly that, trying to just tick off these laps, run faster than the car in front. Last time by, 1:22.1 for Chris Severa, a 1:22.6 for Vincent Arthur, who currently runs in that second spot. Severa with a good run through the chicane, trying to catch up to that back bumper. Briar, this becomes a very difficult portion of the race, really, where Chris Severa wants to fight, but he knows the stage break is coming up. And take a look at Vincent Arthur, completely misses the front stretch chicane.
Yeah, in real life, that would be a stop and get it back rolling. You have to come to a complete stop, but in iRacing here, it's just a little bit of a slowdown, so lucky for him to keep it rolling that quick. But yeah, Chris moves into P2 here. That'll be valuable stage points for him. We'll see how he can hold on and see if he can run down Boyd, actually, because I know he was running down Boyd before Vincent made that mistake there. So hopefully Boyd's got it intact and he's looking out the windshield, not the mirror.
Fastest lap of the race so far is from Vincent Arthur, a 1:19.538. Second fastest time in this race so far, Chris Severa, 1:19.801, about 5/100ths quicker than the 96 of Boyd Hogan. Let's see if Chris Severa can catch up to him. You're on board with James Howard. First start in the MSRA Premier Series tonight. Currently runs in P9. A bit of damage to the back bumper of that machine, and a little bit of damage to the left front and right front as well. The 29 does not look too pretty at the moment, but still seems to be running relatively well on the racetrack, trying to rebound after losing 2 positions on the early portion of this race. Here's P3 runner right now, Logan Helton, as Vincent Arthur has definitely fallen off. I believe he did pass Vincent Arthur when he had to perform that slowdown coming through the front stretch chicane. Helton is another one of those drivers, Briar, who when he gets into a rhythm, he's really good at keeping that rhythm. And it goes to show just how quick Logan Helton can be. 4 wins on the season, 11 top 5s, 13 top 10s, and is looking with this stage win, I believe, to solidify himself into the next round of the playoffs. Top 3 finish here on the stage is going to do him a world of good when it comes to those stage points.
Oh yeah, absolutely. And if you look at the last time around, Logan Helton was actually 5/10ths quicker than second place Chris, and he was also just a little bit faster than Boyd up there in the lead, but not quite enough. But Logan might be able to run down Chris for another position in the stage if Chris makes a mistake.
Just a couple more laps remaining. It'll be 2 to go in the stage this time by for race leader Boyd Hogan. Now, the way the MSRA Premier Series does cautions on road courses is they'll throw it a little bit before they come to the line. The drivers will race back to the start-finish line, then that is when they will slow down. But they throw the caution a little bit earlier so that the iRacing pace car will catch the leader in turn 1. They won't have to go all the way around for an extra lap under caution. So we get more action, and it looks like an issue. Steven Davis just slams into the tire barrier through the backstretch chicane, and that is huge damage to the front end of that car.
Yeah, a lot of damage for the front end. That's going to be a costly mistake there. He came in 8 above the cutoff line, so we'll see how that hinders on that. But ooh, that's a tough hit. It looks like the front bumper was ripped off. Jumps over the turtle. Wow, that was a huge jump. Wow. Luckily to not get hit again coming back into traffic. Everyone got through clean, so that's a good thing coming out of that. But yeah, a crazy ride there.
Full on into the air, all 4 tires up into the air. The Charlotte Motor Speedway looking like a monster truck out there coming over the turtle curves. I know the dirt track at Charlotte Motor Speedway has a monster truck show every year. I think I have a new driver for them to hire, Steven Davis in the number 92. But 2 to go, excuse me, here in the stage, and a bit of a scrap heap back here. 4 drivers. It's Brandon Davis, James Howard, David Santini with Braxton DeWeese back in P10. Talking on David Santini as he goes on by James Howard, races full-time in the MSRA National Series, won last night's race here at the Roval, leading the race flag to flag. From green flag to checkered flag, David Santini dominated, and not a bad start to him up here in the MSRA Premier Series. Currently has gained 3 spots from where he started the night. Good way to begin for David Santini, as he has 11 starts this season in the Premier Series, but only 3 top 5s, 6 top 10s. Good opportunity for him here at another road course to walk away with another consistent finish.
Yeah, absolutely. He started 11th and he's moved his way up to 8th. He looks like he's moving up slowly but surely, as we got the white flag for the stage here. Let's see if he can pick up another spot here before the end of the stage. Braxton DeWeese behind him, though, looks to be, he's picking up the pace. I'm a big fan of Braxton DeWeese. We'll see what he's got. We'll see what they plan on doing for strategy after the stage here. I would assume they would run it out. Not sure what the fuel window is exactly, but David Santini on the back bumper of Brandon Davis here. The podium car getting back onto the banking. Let's see if we can build a run here into the chicane.
Coming to the line at the end of the stage, yellow flag is called, and your stage winner for the grand total of 28 times this season now, Boyd Hogan grabs the stage win here at the Charlotte Motor Speedway Roval. Chris Severa gets some much needed stage points. Logan Helton, Vincent Arthur, Jacob Shorba, your top 5 at the end of stage number 1. Your Stage 1 winner is presented by Shorba's Racing Graphics. SRG offers great services at affordable prices with iRacing paints, logos, numbers, and even t-shirts. $5 for each sale are donated to the Midwest Sim Racing Association end-of-season prize fund. Visit them on Facebook at Shorba's Racing Graphics. Great way to end stage number 1 there. All the drivers grabbing stage points are Boyd Hogan, Chris Severa, Logan Helton, Vincent Arthur, Jacob Shorba, Joseph McWhorter, Brandon Davis, David Santini, Braxton DeWeese, Steven Davis, Evan Longaker, James Howard. That ends at Steven Davis. Rest of your field is Evan Longaker, James Howard, Ryan Strunk, Clayton Hoffman, and Zach York, with John Theodore at the tail end of the field. Luckily, nobody is off of the lead lap just yet. Everybody is still on the lead lap here at the Charlotte Motor Speedway Roval. Let's take a listen in with your Stage 1 winner. Let's bring him into the broadcast booth. It's Boyd Hogan in the 96. Boyd, 28 times stage winner this season, exactly where you like to be. But how's that car feeling out there in the number 96?
Car feels good. A little bit tighter than what I want to be, but just gonna have to make do. Hopefully, I don't know, Logan looks like he might have something able to keep up, but I guess we'll see in the next stage what we got. I gotta try changing something on this, but feels alright.
Well, as you go into the pit lane, assuming you're going to pit under this stage break, what exactly are you going to make changes to on that number 96 to make it a little bit better out there on the racetrack?
I'm just going to try messing with some tire pressures here, see if I can get some more rotation. But other than that, kind of got what you got, these road deals. It's kind of the hand we're dealt, but we'll see what we got.
Well, thank you so much for joining us from the broadcast booth, Boyd. Keep it going in stage number 2. Hopefully we're talking to you at the end of that one too.
Yes, sir. That's the plan.
Good to hear from the 96 of Boyd Hogan. And really quickly, while he comes into the pit lane, we'll talk to the number 62 of Chris Severa. Chris, real quick, as you come into the pit lane, are you changing anything on that car, or are you just going to leave it as is?
No, it's good. If anything, I wish we could get a bit more front end bite, but that's a little bit hard to make that change. Fortunately, car feels good. Otherwise, track's got a lot of grip, so we'll see what we can do.
Hopefully you get out of pit lane well and keep up front, Chris. And you're looking for that playoff cutoff spot up in above that top 8. Hopefully you can get it at the end of this one.
Yeah, I'm looking for a good run here. The car feels solid compared to everyone else, so we got a little speeding there, but fortunately we got another stage here, and hopefully we'll get back up there.
Hopefully you do. Good luck in the next stage. Good luck in stage 3 as well, Chris.
Thanks, guys.
Well, as they all exit through the pit lane, Jacob Shorba moves his way up into P4. And like we mentioned earlier, Shorba's Racing Graphics is the title sponsor of the race tonight. Jacob, thank you for joining us here in the Podium Esports broadcast booth as driver for Great Lakes Motorsports and tonight's in-race reporter and the sponsor of the race.
Thanks, man. Appreciate it.
Now, talking a little bit about Shorba's Racing Graphics before we talk about your race so far and exactly what happened during the pit stops there, what would you like viewers at home to know about Shorba's Racing Graphics?
Well, first thing, we don't just do paints, do a lot more. We can do logos, do backgrounds, concept work, whatever it be. Been around since 2019. A lot of our work has been with the league, the way things are presented in the league. This is a very integral part of what I do. But the whole thing is to make really detailed paints, make them realistic, and make cars that are going to look really good in victory lane.
Now, where can people find more information about Shorba's Racing Graphics and learn how to get in touch with you to get stuff done for them?
Yeah, so you can go to our Facebook page or the Twitter page. Facebook is probably more preferable, but you'll just look up Shorba's Racing Graphics, and I'm sure it'll be the first result on there, and you guys probably got it on the screen as well.
Well, now transitioning over to you driving on the racetrack here tonight in the number 30. Currently in a comfortable top 5 spot, looking like you have a bit of speed. Did you change anything under the pit stop in the number 30, or are you leaving it exactly how it was when the green flag fell?
Exactly how it was. I was horrified during practice because this thing was just lateral sliding everywhere, no grip. Turn 1 was terrible. But we got in the race, and it's a completely different car. So I'm not making any changes. I'm happy with this. We got the stage points in first stage, so I'm pretty sure that'll basically lock me into the next round at this point, even if Severa gets it done up here. So I'm feeling good about the car, and I'm going to keep going with it like it is.
Hopefully you are out there, and hopefully we're talking to you again. Jacob, thank you for joining us in the broadcast booth, and good luck in the rest of tonight's Shorba's Racing Graphics 125.
Appreciate it, man.
That was Jacob Shorba, driver of the number 30 for Great Lakes Motorsports, tonight's in-race reporter and race sponsor here in the Midwest Sim Racing Association Premier Series playoffs. Lights out on the pace car, and this concludes the stage break and also concludes the Capital Auto Group Pit Road Report. Based in Salem, Oregon, Capital Auto Group is a car dealer that will meet and exceed your high expectations each and every time. Their experienced sales staff is eager to share its knowledge and enthusiasm with you. You can browse inventory online, schedule a test drive, and investigate financing options at capitalauto.com. Once again, that is www.capitalauto.com. The field back to 2x2, and boy, I thought it was interesting, Breyer, how Boyd talked about during his interview with us that he's a little scared of Logan Helton in the 63. Logan's got a little bit of speed. He's starting right to the outside at the start of this stage, and we saw Boyd did not fire off well in stage number 1. He kind of graduated up into the top ranks, but firing off in these stages, Boyd does not look like the car to beat.
I don't know. I had my eye on Logan and seen he was coming through the field, so we'll see what Logan has. I said it earlier, I think Logan has a piece to contend, and that's exactly what Boyd said. So we'll see how he attacks this restart. He might be able to get the lead off the restart, and that might be a whole race-changing thing for Logan. So we'll see how Boyd contends with that. Vincent Arthur, he shot off out of a cannon from the beginning of the race, so we'll see if he can make a crazy move or something to get back out in front and stay up front this time.
14 lap initial stage, and when we take the green flag here, we're basically going to be going for another 13 some odd laps. The stage will end at lap number, trying to do quick math, 31. Lap number 31, the stage will end. So we're going to go racing for just about another 14 laps. Pretty even stages, even though stage 1 is 14 laps. Stage 2 was originally going to be 17 with the stage caution. Evens out to 14 laps both stages. So we'll be seeing that caution flag come back out on stage at lap number 31 for the end of stage 2. Boyd Hogan, Logan Heltson on the front row currently as we get ready to go back to racing here at the virtual Charlotte Motor Speedway Roval. 38.76 miles have been completed of the grand total of 125.4. We'll be racing here tonight. Ready to go back to racing in stage number 2. You're on board with Logan Heltson. He starts to the inside of row number 1 as the green flag comes back out for stage 2.
Logan Helton to the outside of Boyd Hogan going into turn number 1. See what he's got here. Not quite. Boyd Hogan gets out to a good lead there. Vincent Arthur in third, quickly behind. Logan looking for another move here. See if he can get this one through the double right. Not quite. Boyd's going to hold him off. Heading into the other section of double rights. And Vincent's quick on their tail. Logan's slipping up a little bit there. He's going to hand the position over to Vincent.
There goes Arthur down the inside. That's going to move Helton back into P3. Now into the clutches of Jacob Shorba. Look at David Santini now running up inside the top 5. That number 79 up 6 spots from where he started in P11. Looking to sweep the weekend in the MSRA Premier Series here from the Roval. On board is Jacob Shorba, currently P4 in that Great Lakes Motorsports number 30. Trying to pull away from Santini in the battle for P4. Into the backstretch chicane on fresh tires. Couple of drivers getting loose on the way in, most notably Vincent Arthur. A little bit of a plate to the wheel as he entered into the corner, but everybody's going to make it through clean. There's a bit of a scrap further back, 3 wide for a moment, all around the 77 of Ryan Strunk. As Strunk now goes to the inside of Severa, and battle for the lead is heating up as it looked like Boyd Hogan made a mistake going through the first chicane on the front straightaway. Oh no, Vincent Arthur completely missed it. He went all the way to the outside, got a slowdown penalty. That's going to move him back into P3 now.
Yeah, still suffering from that slowdown penalty. See how he rebounds from this. He's going to have to take care of those tires and make sure he can go the rest of the way here. Logan Helton, unlucky on that restart. I thought he was going to be able to hold on to second, maybe even get first off the restart, but fell back to third. Now he's moved back up into second. Let's see if he can run down Boyd.
Logan Helton currently running in P2 after Arthur had that slowdown that he had to give, and Shorba now up into P3. First time we're seeing him in the podium spots so far tonight. But Boyd Hogan is running away. Here's the battle for second place between Helton and Shorba. Helton trying to pull away in second place, exactly what he is doing right now. And last time by, to about 2/10 slower than Boyd Hogan. You look on board with James Howard trying to get by Joseph McWhorter, who is right in front of him. Actually sandwiched in between 2 Reaper Speed Lab cars here. McWhorter is part of that team along with Braxton DeWeese. As side by side, Arthur goes on by Jacob Shorba. Put Vincent Arthur back into the top 3. 24's got a strong carburetor, but he needs to run more consistent than he is, because if he keeps getting slowdowns, keeps getting penalties, it is not going to end well for the 24.
Yeah, absolutely. I think it needs to revert back to what he did in stage 1 and just keep it in line, on track, and just hitting his marks. He was doing that well in first stage, but the second stage we've had a little bit of a mishap and a couple of mistakes here and there. Just let him, or pushed him back to third. So we'll see. You've seen Boyd catch him and run him down and get around him as the laps went on, but now Vincent's fell back and he's in the hands of Jacob Shorba as he gets through the double left-hander, getting onto banking.
battle for P4 on the racetrack is starting to heat up. Shorba there in P4. Santini, McWhorter, and Howard at the tail end of this line. Braxton DeWeese trying to catch up as well in the number 15. As they work their way through stage number 1, of course, stage points were applied, and now the maximum amount of points that a driver can earn tonight is 50 points. With those stage points, we believe Vincent Arthur has officially locked himself into the next round of the playoffs. So he joins Hutchison and Hogan. Logan Helton still looking to lock himself in, and with his finish in stage number 1, I believe he will not be able to lock himself in until that checkered flag falls tonight. So still some is on the table for Logan Helton, but a minimum amount of points tonight of 25. So little different play of the strategy, Brian, because instead of the minimum amount of points being 0 that somebody can get, or 1 if they finish in last place, now if you finish in 16th like Zach York, you're still getting 25 points. Can change the scope of what is going to happen when it comes to these playoffs.
Yeah, it's very beneficiary to have only 16 drivers show up tonight. It was a similar deal to the eNASCAR Road to Pro Series. The field started slowly dropping off from the max amount of drivers allowed in the server of 35. It shortened up the points as the season went on and people dropped out, so you couldn't lose that many points if you finished that dead last, which was, I would say, about 25th. But yeah, it changed up the point standings a lot as we got James Howard going side by side through the backstretch chicane. Braxton DeWeese gonna, contact. We got James Howard around. Braxton DeWeese gonna go around that. A little bit of contact made. Not sure what exactly caused that. Maybe just a little misjudgment, but damage around for James Howard. About, I would say, similar to the last incident. Braxton DeWeese probably a little bit of damage on the nose. But yeah, the point standings, it definitely just changed when you don't have a lot of drivers show up, and the minimum amount of points is, I think, 26, as you said. But so we get another look here at the incident. Ooh, hard into the inside wall there for Braxton. Didn't even notice that. That's going to be a lot of damage there.
Could affect the aerodynamics of that car. Could also affect the cooling if the front end is pushed in enough and it's making a punch a hole in the radiator. Could lead to some temperature issues for that number 29 or that number 15 as well. On board with the number 91, Brandon Davis trying to chase down Evan Longaker, who currently sits in front of him. Longaker, part-time driver this season, I believe, has a handful of starts, was not competing in the playoffs. Take a look at this. One of my favorite things about the MSR Premier Series is that we can get now 2 VR in-car cameras with Brandon and Steven Davis. You're taking a look at Brandon now, and you can see exactly what he is seeing in the sim, racing in VR. Brian, I don't know if you've tried VR and iRacing, but it is a completely different experience. And if you switch from monitors to VR and then back to monitors, feels just about completely different as we get a side-by-side shot there for a moment. Now here's Steven Davis in his VR headset. There's the side-by-side. You can see both of them at once. Completely different racing on a VR headset than triple monitors, or especially a single monitor, because with a VR headset you are completely engulfed in the action. You cannot look over at anything in your room. You are completely in the sim as we get a great look at both of the VR angles and both of the brothers racing in their room.
Oh yeah, absolutely. It'd be a huge change for me personally. I'm on a triple monitor setup at my rig, and I would definitely like to try out the VR stuff. Not sure if I could do a complete switch over to that, but yeah, I would definitely at least like to try it once. I've never experienced a VR game, actually, thinking about it, but seeing the Davis brothers there, wheeling in their room, it looks like a ton of fun, honestly. Probably be a good thing, maybe, that they got VR headsets instead of monitors, because that desk space would be taken up by a lot of monitors.
That is one of the good things about a VR headset. You basically put on the monitors onto your head, so you need one monitor, of course, to navigate the iRacing UI or the member site if you're still one of those people. You might need one of that, but to race, you just need that VR headset and a wheel. That is all that you need on your desk and in your setup. Currently racing through stage number 2 with Boyd Hogan out in front, Logan Helton, Vincent Arthur, David Santini with Jacob Shorba. Your current top 5 on the racetrack. Boyd Hogan continuing his success here at the front of the field, and he is going to, with this Stage 2 win, reach a grand total of 99 playoff points accumulated throughout this season. If he wins, he will go to 102 if he does also get that stage win. If not, then if he wins, he'll get up to 101. If he doesn't win this stage or the race, he'll end at 98 playoff points. But that is just so insane to think about, Breyer, especially when you put it in the scope of the next driver down in terms of playoff points is Vincent Arthur with 37. So he has over double anybody else in the field when it comes to playoff points. Doesn't show just how quick Boyd is in any track and any car that really that you throw him on.
Oh yeah, absolutely. It definitely does show the dominance that he's had in this league. 100 playoff points. That's a lot of playoff points, thinking about it. And with Vincent running P3, I don't like it. It's a big gap there. I don't know if, if that would even be possible to gain throughout a whole nother season. But Logan Helton running in second here. Not sure if he's going to be able to run down Boyd. He's running about even lap times, but Vincent looks to be somewhat competitive. I would say if Logan has a mistake here and there, he might be able to catch back up, but we'll see as the stage goes on. Come in to lap 31 here.
Yeah, the stage will end on lap number 31. That's coming up in about 7 laps time and going for about half of this stage. And the way the fuel works out, they do not really need to pit throughout these first 2 stages. They can make it 14 laps on fuel. Still wondering exactly how this final stage is going to go in terms of a fuel window, but at the moment, nobody will need to pit until the end of this stage. And we'll grab another Capital Auto Group pit road report and hear any other changes happening on the racetrack. And John Theodore battling with Clayton Hoffman. Relatively fitting they have found themselves next to each other on the racetrack, because John Theodore at the start of this race was 3 points above the cut line. Clayton Hoffman was 3 points below the cut line. They sat 8th and 9th when it came to the playoffs. And as of the end of the stage, that gap grew slightly. It grew. Actually, no, it stayed the same. Stayed the exact same throughout the first stage. I believe neither of them got stage points, so they stay 3 points separated from each other. Any position they gain on the racetrack now, Breyer, is important, and John Theodore needs to keep Clayton Hoffman behind him, or else he could run into issues as Chris Severa dives into the pit lane.
Yeah, Chris making I believe I would say a strategy call there, maybe going to stay out when the yellow flag flies for the stage. But John and Clayton, it is funny that they are together. They're really close on the cutoff line, so we'll see how that plays out. It just goes to show how important stage points are. The more you collect, the better off you'll be. With Boyd's 100 playoff points, that's definitely going to help him in the future.
And Severa is still sitting in there. He did have a penalty at the beginning. It looks like he's grabbing damage repair. It looks like a bit of damage to that right front, or excuse me, left front of that car. And that could be the reason that we are seeing him in the pit lane right now. An update on the fuel window, 30 to 34 laps. So with those drivers pitting at the end of that stage, they're not good to the end, but pitting at stage 2 means they will be good to the end. So it will be roughly about a 21 to 20 lap sprint to the finish. With no full course cautions, Breyer, 20 laps straight here at the Roval to finish out the night. Gonna be a true test of a lot of these drivers' long run speed and how easy they can conserve those tires, because tire wear is definitely going to become a big talking point.
Oh yeah, absolutely. As you've seen in the first stage, Boyd was able to keep Vincent in his sights, and Vincent slowly fell off as laps went on. Boyd was able to get around him. Boyd with a 3.5 second lead right now, I believe. Looks to be comfortable right now. I assume he's trying to keep the stuff on it. We'll hopefully see that in the last stage here, because the last stage is going to be a lot longer than what these guys have been used to so far. But as you said, we need to keep the tires on it for the long run speed, and we'll see who prevails with the long run pace.
That long run will come into play through stage 3. Also through stage 3, we will be following the live points, and you'll be able to see exactly where your favorite driver in the MSRA Premier Series is running in relation to the playoff cut line. That will be used to determine what 8 drivers will go racing in the round of 8 in the playoffs come next week when we get it started from virtual Texas. Boyd Hogan and Logan Helton battle at the front. About 3 seconds separate your top 2. There's Logan Helton trying to chase down Boyd Hogan. A lot of play to that wheel, trying to keep that car under him. A good day so far for Logan. He started back in 10th, did not put in a qualifying time. So a good run so far up to P2 for him, Breyer, but he has pace to keep up. Last time by, he was 0.3 quicker than Boyd Hogan, but it just doesn't look like he has enough to really run up with Boyd right now, especially not from second place. That could change if he gets the lead at any given time. But right now, it doesn't look like he has the 96's number, unless he's trying to save something.
Yeah, it'll definitely change when the last stage rolls around, though. We'll see how Boyd handles saving the tires and see how Logan handles that. And even the restart we'll get. You've seen Logan and Boyd side by side to turn 1. Logan couldn't capitalize and fell back. And with that time lost there, that it could have made a huge difference, absolutely, coming to the end of this stage. I don't think he has enough time for this stage, but we'll see how it comes down to the last stage, because that'll be interesting to see.
This last stage is going to be huge because it really is going to determine what 8 drivers move their way into the next round of the playoff. We already know 3 will move in. Still have 5 positions that we have not guaranteed spots to. We'll do that at the checkered flag of tonight's race. So make sure you stay tuned for the post-race show as well. We'll get interviews with drivers top to bottom on the field. Your top 3 we'll talk with, and then we'll talk to drivers who had some key moments throughout tonight's race. So make sure that you stay tuned even after the checkered flag falls to hear from the best of the MSRA Premier Series. On board with Joseph McWhorter, got that huge win at Richmond that he was looking for on 9/11, had a special 9/11 memorial paint scheme. Great to see McWhorter walk away with the win there. Also got a win at New Hampshire, middle of July. Another great run there for the 32. Joseph McWhorter has had a really great season. New paint scheme debuting this week as well as he joins the Reaper Speed Lab team, and a new wheel that he is using out there as well. Great to see for the 32 of McWhorter. And Breyer, you know well that those Reaper Speed Lab cars always provide some sort of speed.
Oh yeah, absolutely. I've always seen a couple of Reaper Speed Lab cars in the Road to Pro series. They're always building fast stuff over there and bringing competition, that's for sure. They got a good group of drivers over there on that side. But yeah, like you said, they bring some speed for sure.
2 to go in the stage, over halfway done with this race. 26 to go, 1 to go here in the second stage of the night. You're on board with Steven Davis, both literally and figuratively. You're on board in the sim, right side of your screen. You're on board in the VR headset on the right side of your screen. You can see him diving into the chicane, points out that apex well, using a little bit more curving than I think he was expecting to, but works his way past the backstretch chicane as your current race leader, Boyd Hogan, works his way through turn 1, or oval turn 1, I should say. He'll come around to take the white flag in the stage next time by. Helton running in P2 has not let Boyd get too far, but still about 3.5 seconds some odd back to the 63 of Logan Helton. They seem to be the 2 drivers who are the strongest tonight. Vincent Arthur, David Santini, and Jacob Shorba, the current top 5. Closest battle on the racetrack is James Howard and Evan Longaker, who currently race for P9 and battling for a bit of stage points as well. Both Howard and Longaker not in the playoffs, but Briar's good stage finish can also help a bit of confidence boost, which James Howard is looking for because it's his first race of the season here in the MSRA Premier Series, and Evan Lonker is looking for it as he continues to run part-time in the number 95.
Oh yeah, definitely confidence booster in your first race is a positive thing to have. Coming to the end of the stage here, you want to have a lot of momentum going into the last stage. With the confidence, you feel like you could probably get up there and race the top guys. You never know what can happen. A lot of carnage can happen. It's the Roval. Anything can happen. So we'll see how James handles this last stage, but he's looking really good in his first race.
Great effort from Howard, and we'll see exactly how that finishes here in stage 3. But coming across the line this time to round out stage number 2 is going to be that guy right there, the 96 of Boyd Hogan. What a run in the first 2 stages that he has had to hold on to this lead throughout stage number 2. And is looking to go 2 for 2 in the stage win column so far. They'll have an amassed 99 playoff points on the season as it comes through the front stretch chicane for the 29th time this season. Boyd Hogan is a stage winner in the Premier Series.
Huge stage win there for Boyd. 100 stage points, as you said. A lot of stage points he's collected over the past few races. So see if he can keep going and top it off with a win here this race.
Stage 2 winner is presented by HutchCo. HutchCo has been proudly serving the northeastern Colorado community since 1999, pouring the foundations of countless homes and shops. The MSRA commemorates their service as their business ends operations. HutchCo has long desired to be involved in racing and has joined the Premier Series to fulfill that dream. Thanks to HutchCo for their service. So stage 2 wraps its way up. And we have a bit of an issue on the front straightaway. James Howard just spun it coming across the line and slammed into barrels at the entry to the pit lane. What on earth has happened for the 29 year? Here's the podium replay.
We were just talking so good about him. Ooh, just a little too much curb in there. Spun it around through the infield. Did we hit the pit? Oh yeah, we hit the pit barrels. Unfortunate. Looks like that was a reset, so a lot of time taken up there. Kind of lucky that it happened under yellow, so some time would be taken up, but still very unfortunate to happen right at the end of the stage there for James.
Yeah, so unfortunate for James Howard, and now he's going to be finishing his first race from the pit lane. And man, so just upsetting to see, especially after such a good run through the first 2 stages. That's going to leave 14 drivers on the track. Zach York is off the racetrack, P16, 14 laps down, and now James Howard is off the racetrack, 1 lap down. And assuming he has retired from the race, he'll be going multiple laps down before the checkered flag flies tonight. So 14 drivers currently sit on the racetrack. All of them are also on the lead lap. And expecting a decent handful of these drivers to work into the pit lane this time by. We'll bring up your second place driver from that stage, Logan Helton in the 63, joins us in the broadcast booth here. Logan, how's that car feeling, and are you thinking about making any adjustments down in the pit lane this time?
To me, the car feels fine. It's just slow on the short run, and it's about even with Boyd mid-run. The stage, and I don't think we've gone far enough to know what it does long run yet, so I just need to get a good pit stop here and try and see what I can do with it.
Stage 3 coming up, get after it.
Thank you.
We'll see what Helton can do and if he is going to be able to walk away with that stage 3 and race win victory. Currently in P2, works his way into the pit stall, and as he works his way into the pit stall as well, Brian LaPrade standing by with Vincent Arthur.
Vincent running pretty good in the first stage. Second stage, we had a little bit of a little mistake there that we cost ourselves a spot for P2, but we're still hanging in there. How do you plan on attacking this next restart here?
Just trying to keep the car in one piece, really. I mean, I feel horrible. Oh, something happened to Logan. I think he got a speeding penalty or something. Car is really good. I mean, we got a lot of speed. It's just the driver behind the wheel's lacking. So, I hate it for my guys that we have this damage. Feel like the car is good. Just lacking a little bit of straight line speed now. So, this last stage is going to be a test of endurance. Maybe we can overtake Boyd here quickly and try to hold on to it, or just try to save the tires and get him at the end. But I'm optimistic. I think I've kind of been able to settle in. Nerves have definitely gone down a lot, but car's good. Got to thank Full Tilt, Shorba's Racing Graphics for this beautiful breast cancer awareness scheme, and we'll see if we can go out here and get them.
Absolutely, looked good on the first stage. Like I said, now you with Helton with the penalty. We'll see what we can do on this next restart. Good luck.
Appreciate you.
Good to hear from Vincent Arthur. And penalty for Logan Elton, definitely not what he was looking for. He's going to go to the tail end of the longest line, and as he does so, we have Jacob Shorba joining us here in the booth now. Jacob, you mentioned not changing anything on that car, assuming that's going to stay the same through this pit stop?
I did drop the tape a little bit because we were getting a bit hot and it was a little loose, so I just wanted to fix that issue.
And through this final stage, bit longer than the rest. Looks like we're going to go green with maybe about 21 laps to the checkered flag. How are you feeling through this third stage, and do you think that car can run through the long run and get that race win, or maybe at least walk away with the top 5 to end the round of 8, or end the round of 12, excuse me?
Sure. I'm not sure if I'd be able to get the win. I just don't have the pace right now, and as far as a driver, I got to do a lot better. But as far as getting a good finish, I'm pretty confident in that. I think dropping the tape's going to tighten this up a bit. It was getting a little loose last time, so I just got to take good care of it and get a little more focused, and should be good if I do that.
Thank you very much for joining us once again here in the broadcast booth, Jacob. We'll talk to you post-race, and hopefully it's in one of the podium spots.
Yeah, that'd be great. Thank you.
Great to hear from Jacob Shorba, and that'll conclude our Stage 2 break and the Capital Auto Group Pit Road Report. Based in Salem, Oregon, Capital Auto Group is a car dealer that will meet and exceed your high expectations each and every time. Their experienced sales staff is eager to share its knowledge and enthusiasm with you. Browse inventory, schedule a test drive, or investigate financing options at capitalauto.com. Once again, that is www.capitalauto.com. Time for the Strunk PC Ones to Watch. You can check out Strunk PC on Facebook for all of your computer repair needs. Briar, who are you watching to get this win here at the end of stage number 3?
I would say Vincent Arthur. Let's see if he can change it up a little bit. Hopefully we had made some adjustments on pit road there, because I think he can do it. He's got to hit his marks. Let's see if he can attack Boyd and see if we can pop up with a win.
Vincent's definitely a good pick, but I gotta go with the 96 of Boyd Hogan. He has been so strong all night long. Specifically throughout this season, he's really come alive through the long run and in stage number 3. Expecting the 96 of Boyd Hogan to do the exact same thing tonight. And Brian Bauer, our producer, agrees with me. He's going for 3 wins in a row as well with the 96 of Boyd Hogan. Wherever you're tuning in, whether it's Twitch, YouTube, Facebook, Twitter, leave your comments. Tell us do you think is going to win this race. We're also on iRacing.com/live tonight. Wherever you're tuning in to Podium Esports right now, let us know who you think is going to walk away with the race victory here from the Charlotte Motor Speedway Roval. Once again, this is the final stage of the round of 12. We're going to turn 12 drivers into 8 and go racing in the next round of the playoffs, when you can catch us in 1 week's time from virtual Texas. But for 4 drivers, a lot of drivers, 4 of them to be exact, will be disappointed by being eliminated at the end of this one. Logan joining us back here in the broadcast booth real quick. Sounded like a speeding penalty in that number 96, or that number 63, excuse me. Is that correct? And was it a speeding penalty?
It was, and I can't help but smile because I just talked to you guys about I need a good pit stop. But I mean, I think I'm okay on points right now, so it's not a huge deal. I'll probably just try and have a little fun with it. My favorite thing about road courses is if you're in the back, is driving up through the field.
Well, hopefully you can do that here in the final stage. Good luck, and hopefully we're seeing you up front soon.
Thank you.
Good to hear one more time from Logan Helton before we go into this final stage. Pace car dives into the pit lane. It is time for stage number 3 for the MSRA Premier Series from the virtual Charlotte Motor Speedway. Boyd Hogan is on the gas, and we're back underway in the final stage of the night.
Boyd with a good launch off into turn number 1, way better than the last restart. Vincent's still there though. Joseph McWhorter in 3rd. I think this is the best we've seen all night from him. David Centeni in P4 are single filed out so far.
79 miles are down, and we only have a handful left to go before we reach 125 tonight. Boyd Hogan trying to run away at the front, doing exactly what he has been doing all night long. Helton already going to pick off one car. He picks off Steven Davis in the 92, moves his way up into P13. Hogan, Arthur, McWhorter, Santini, and Shorba, the current top 5. Clayton Hoffman running in P6. Good to see him back up here in the front, Briar, because he needs to be up here. Currently 3 points under the cut line. He does not earn stage points yet tonight. Trying to earn a bit more points at the end here. One car getting very loose in the backstretch chicane. I believe that was a 79 of Santini. He is about to try and, maybe it was Joseph McWhorter, because Santini's about to overtake him.
Yeah, Santini with a overtake here, moving up into P3. But yeah, as you were saying about Hoffman running P6, that's going to be crucial for how this plays out at the end of the race with points. Those two, him and John Theodore, were separated by 3 points, and they're running 6th and 7th right now, so we'll see how that ends out.
20 laps to go here from the virtual Charlotte Motor Speedway Roval. That incident on the backstretch was Joseph McWhorter in the 32. Came up and slammed the backstretch wall and went spinning into that first corner of the backstretch chicane. Take a look at the live points. These will update throughout stage number 3, and the battle for the cut line literally could not be closer. It is a dead tie between Theodore and Hoffman right now. Both of them sitting at exactly the same points. Now Hoffman currently runs P6, Theodore P9. Any position they gain on the racetrack will be one more spot and one more point. Hoffman gonna lose a spot to Severa. That puts him 1 point under the cut line. These are crucial positions and crucial laps for anybody close to the cut line. Look at the 92 of Steven Davis. He's only 2 points good now.
Yeah, I would definitely keep your eye on Chris Severa there in the 62. He's only 5 down on the cut line. We've seen him running 3rd earlier in this race. If Hoffman and Theodore end up dropping down the order, you can see him being a factor in the cut line. As we got the 30, overshooting the corner deep. He's going to have to slow down. That's positions picked up by Hoffman and others.
That is a lot of positions. They go back to even on the cut line now, as Shorba's going to fall to P7 after that. As they work their way through this stage, interesting to note that Vincent Arthur is currently locked in even without the win. Same thing with Logan Helton. He's locked in without a win. Ralph Hutchison is also locked in. Doesn't matter what happens, and Shorba just spun it coming through the infield section. Working his way through turn 3, Shorba just drifted it and hit the back end and the front end of that car onto the tire barriers on the outside. Here's the replay. Briar just looked like he went in there a little bit too hot, and seemed like the same thing he was talking about in the stage 1 break in the Capital Auto Group pit road report, having no lateral grip and it just sliding through the corner.
Yeah, I thought he was almost about to drift that and save it. That would have been an insane save, but unfortunately got into the barrier there. Probably because the tires were heated up from the lockup. That mistake probably heated up the tires and eventually just caused him to slide like that going to the corner. Did not expect it.
That's going to move Shorba down into tail end of the field right now. P14 for the 30 of Jacob Shorba, trying to work his way now back up through the field, and this is going to be some stressful times for Shorba, and you can see him frustrated on the left side of your screen. Still has an opportunity to stay above that cut line. Really the only way that I can see him going below the cut line is if Hoffman or Theodore continue to climb up and maybe grab a win or a top 5 finish. Hoffman is close to that, but Shorba would also need to basically crash out of this race. Actually, where he's running right now, I don't believe he is at risk of losing anything. I believe McWhorter and Shorba both are pretty much good into the next round. Just going to leave Steven Davis and Theodore and Hoffman to be fighting for that cut line. So bit of pressure taken off a lot of drivers, Briar, but it's just going to amplify the pressure on especially Theodore and Hoffman because they're tied for the cut line right now.
Oh yeah, I bet there's a lot of pressure going on for those drivers around the cut line. We'll see how that pans out, but Severa running pretty good. Like I said earlier, he got up to 3rd earlier in the race, so we'll see. But Santini and McWhorter look like they have pretty good pace. McWhorter hopefully doesn't make another mistake through the chicane. Looked like that was his trouble spot. But Theodore running 9th right now with Severa 5th, Hoffman 6th. So they're pretty close together on track.
on board of Theodore as he goes through the front stretch chicane, and he's catching up to the driver in front of him. That's Brandon Davis in the number 91. This could be big for John Theodore if he can get this position, move himself further up above that cut line. And he is fighting to, and if you want to catch his live stream, twitch.tv/John_A_Theodore. You can check him out right now, one of the managing members at Podium Esports. He's live streaming right now. You can see his in-car of his race right now and see the intensity that is on his face as he currently races through stage number 3 as Braxton Deweese breathing down his neck. Now Breyer, exactly what Theodore did not want to see, the 15 in his rearview mirror. If he loses a spot, he loses the playoffs.
Absolutely. Every spot's a point here with the NASCAR point standings. I'm not sure if they use a different point standings or not, but every spot lost is a point lost, so you definitely want to keep it going as Braxton's going to take a lunge or look for a lunge. Might be able to set him up for another corner here. We'll see, but Braxton looks like to be on Theodore's back bumper, ready to pounce any moment.
Deweese falling back a little bit. He was a little bit closer when they came through the front stretch that last time by. Has definitely caught up, and somebody else who's catching up, Logan Helton, up into P7 right now as he's locked into the next round. A lot of pressure taken off, but he's a racer, he's a competitor. He does not want to lay back and watch things happen. He wants to be up in it. Now, something is interesting that's going to be coming up here, Breyer. Helton is catching up to Hoffman, who we're on board with now. If Helton passes Hoffman, that is going to lead Hoffman to be further under the cut line. He'll be 1 point below when Helton passes him because they'll trade spots. Helton will go up into P6. Hoffman will go back into P7. This is going to be interesting to see how aggressive is Hoffman going to race Helton because he's right on that cut line, exactly even with Theodore. He knows that if he loses a spot, he is going to lose that cut line.
Yeah, absolutely. I'm sure Hoffman's going to be up on the wheel here in this last stage. He's probably hoping these two in front of him get involved in something and he can just pounce on that, because that would be 2 extra points for him in the running. With Helton having a good long run car, I'm sure he's going to be there towards the end. We'll see how Helton holds onto the tires. Hopefully he doesn't use up too much trying to get through the field, but he is definitely recovering from that speeding penalty.
Side by side, there goes Deweese right on by, and that's going to move Theodore now down below the cut line by 1 point. He needs to get by Deweese, or he needs to hope that Logan Helton can catch up to Clayton Hoffman. Right now, that gap between Hoffman and Helton has become static, stayed relatively the same at 5.5 seconds. Hoffman looking to try and get by Chris Severa as well. Let's talk about Chris Severa here for a moment. Look at him. He's 4 points under the cut line. He still has an opportunity, but he needs a lot more positions than he currently has, Breyer, and he needs to gain positions quick. Tapping the wall, coming back onto the straightaway. 4 spots would mean that he goes up into the lead, passing Boyd Hogan. A long way to go for Chris Severa, but he still has a chance, and if a competitor has a chance, you know this, they're going to try and make it happen.
Oh yeah, absolutely. Anything's possible. It's not over till it's over, so I'm sure Chris is going to keep chugging along, and even though he needs to gain spots, other people need to lose spots, and that's what he needs to happen here. You need everything to go your way when it comes to points racing like that, with how close it is, especially with others on track.
14 laps to go in stage number 3. Boyd Hogan leads the way. We'd like to remind you that FSM Customs is the proud sponsor of the MSRA Premier Series. They offer custom button box builds for sim racers across different disciplines of racing. In addition to boxes, FSM also offers custom decals to customize your rig even more. Flip the switch on your sim rig and check out FSM Customs on Facebook. Don't go anywhere. We have the conclusion of stage number 3 in the race from the Charlotte Roval coming up right after this. You're watching live coverage of the Midwest Sim Racing Association Premier Series playoffs from the virtual Charlotte Roval on Podium Esports.
This is iRacing, the world's premier online racing game. iRacing puts you in the driver's seat to experience today's newest form of competitive motorsport, virtual racing, all from your home PC. Race virtually in endorsed series from NASCAR, IndyCar, IMSA, the World of Outlaws, Aussie Supercars, and more. Take on legendary circuits like Daytona, Silverstone, and the Nürburgring. Join iRacing's global online racing community and get on track today at iRacing.com.
Waltrip, Marlin, Petty, Earnhardt. These are just a few of the greats to add their names into the Nashville Fairgrounds Speedway record books. Who adds their name this time around? The All-American Esports 400 returns to iRacing's virtual Nashville Fairgrounds Speedway October 23rd through 24th. Register now at podiumesports.com/AA400. Sign up before October 17th to receive discounted registration for the weekend. Write your name in history at the All-American Esports 400.
This is iRacing.
This is our series,
So many different pieces that you have to watch out for.
where the stakes are always higher,
$300,000.
where virtual meets reality,
How bad do you want it? They're wasting no time getting at it.
where the best thrive and the flawless win. This is the eNASCAR Coca-Cola iRacing Series.
Welcome back to Podium Esports live coverage of the Shorba's Racing Graphics 125 for the Midwest Sim Racing Association Premier Series elimination race in the round of 12. Joshua Lee here with you in the booth alongside Briar LaPrade with Ryan Bauer in the virtual production trailer pushing all the buttons. And had a little bit of an incident there. I believe a caution was called by race control by mistake. At least that's what it sounded like over the iRacing voice chat. Hearing a lot of questions over the voice chat right now. Believe it was called completely on accident, and it sounds like they're going to serve this yellow flag. We'll find out here in just a moment. Hogan should be catching up to the iRacing pace car here soon, and we'll see exactly what race control is going to do about it. But if it is a caution, Briar, that is going to bunch the field back up and make it even more stressful on the cut line.
Oh yeah, as they say, this changes everything, even if it was a mistake or not. Like, this is going to be very interesting to see how the cut line plays out and who comes out with a race win. Honestly, Boyd can still possibly lose this, even though it's not going to like affect him that much, but we'll see. The cut line's going to be very interesting to watch now.
Well, they will have to serve this yellow flag, and according to race control, his cat walked over his keyboard. I cannot make this up. This is not scripted. I could not write it even if I wanted to. But it happened. That is in the past. We now have a full course caution on the racetrack. Nobody needs to pit for fuel, but they had 4 sets of tires in the pit lane. So assuming now, Briar, we're going to see a handful of drivers come into pit lane 4 tires. But I would expect a couple of drivers who are sitting at least close to that cut line be a little close to maybe try and stay out and run on worn tires, but try and get that track position at the end of the day.
Yeah, if I was a front runner, I would definitely come in and get the 4 tires. You've been, most of the guys up there have been running up there for majority of the race, I would say. But yeah, if you're in the back or towards the cut line, I wouldn't necessarily throw out the idea of staying out. There's not going to be that many laps left to go when we take the green, so as long as you can hold on and hope for the best, you might be able to pay it off.
Well, even with a cat walking across a race controller's keyboard, this now makes this race a lot more interesting because we are bunching the field back up for a restart here at the Charlotte Roval. Boyd Hogan leads. Here comes the big question on who is going to pit. Hearing some insight from John Theodore that he is thinking about pitting here because he doesn't have the pace to defend. So he wants those fresh tires to be more on offense rather than defense. If you're Clayton Hoffman right now, Breyer, sitting in 6th place, you have some decent speed. Are you pitting for tires? Are you going to try and gamble and stay out and use that track position to your advantage? We see him coming in, and it looks like everybody's going to elect to come in.
Yeah, it looks like no one's going to take the risk of staying out. I would say that's a smart play, honestly. With everyone else coming in, you might as well come in and get the 4 tires and just do your thing out on track. You got to hit your marks, make sure you're not, your nerves are settled, especially being around the cut line. It's gonna be nerve-wracking, but you just hit your marks, do your best, and whatever happens, happens. And it's not over till the checkered flag waves.
Definitely is a long way from over. Everybody is into the pit lane. Let's see who is going to gamble on tires, if anybody does. It looks like everybody for tires, and everybody is out. Who's going to win the race off pit road by inches? I believe the 24 of Vincent Arthur just won that race off of pit road, and yes, he did. Boyd Hogan is going to lose the lead on the restart.
Well, Vincent Arthur was my one to watch, and well, he's the one to watch right now as he wins the race off pit road. Let's see if he can use this to his advantage and keep the lead going into turn 1 on the restart.
And look at the smile. Vincent Arthur knows that that was a huge moment that just happened for him. Have to mention, John Theodore currently is still in the pit lane, currently ranked P14, because he is trying to get a bit of damage repaired. He had about 1.5 minutes of optionals. So this keeping him in the pit lane. Take a look at the current structure of the points. Now this is going to give Chris Severa a bit of an opportunity, but talking about Chris Severa, running in 5th, that is very difficult to go up, Breyer. From 5th place to 1st place, that's 4 positions. That is a lot more difficult than, say, 14th to 10th. It is in Severa's favor if Hoffman were to lose 4 spots than for him to gain 4 spots. So he's really in a position right now of just putting all of his cards on the table and relying on fate, because he knows that he doesn't have the pace to keep up with Vincent Arthur, to keep up with Boyd Hogan, and try and get the race win to lock himself into the next round.
Yeah, if I was Chris here, you got to get what you can get off this restart and then hold them off if they have the better pace. And I would definitely rely on Hoffman trying to, well, not trying to, but falling off a couple spots, because it's going to go both ways here, I believe. You got to get what you can get the points, and you better hope that the other 50% chance of this, helping you out goes the other way with Hoffman losing spots. It's got to go both ways. You got to have a little bit of luck in racing.
Well, as we work under the yellow flag, once again, this is changing the scope of this race. And once again, this was a mistake from race control. Unfortunately, once a caution is called on iRacing, there is no way to reverse that. So we are under a full course caution, but it allowed everybody to come into the pit lane, grab 4 fresh Goodyear tires, and restructure a bit of the running order, and also bunch everybody up for this final 8 laps that we are going to see after this restart. So not all is lost. We do lose a bit of time, of course, and we do lose a bit of green flag laps, but end of the day, everything is okay. We're still going to go racing for an 8-lap shootout to the final. And Brian, another thing we forgot to mention, what was originally a long run game to the finish just became a short run game to the finish with everybody on fresh tires.
Yeah, this is definitely going to play into Vincent's hands here, because he was definitely in the better run for the short run on stage 1. So if this plays out in his hands, it might pay off pretty good.
So Vincent Arthur at the front. trying to lead the way, and this is going to be relatively big for Vincent Arthur on this restart. Boyd Hogan right next to him on this start, and we have seen Boyd Hogan get some amazing starts when it comes to the restarts here at the Roval, but now Vincent Arthur is going to be in control of the field. That's going to change just how this restart works, especially Breyer, because now Boyd Hogan has to go whenever Vincent Arthur chooses to, not when Boyd Hogan chooses to.
Right, yeah, this has been in Boyd's hands on the restart for the past couple restarts, so we'll see how he can adapt to this, and hopefully he times it right. Definitely don't want to get yourself caught up in an incident, though, on this restart. That's the last thing you need with the last couple laps coming up, because it can decide everything for the round of 8, so we'll see how that ends. But the round of 12, you got Theodore not too far back. He's got some spots to gain, definitely, with the damage he's got. I think he's got a shot at doing it. We'll see. But Hoffman, he's been up there. He's hanging around. Severa doing really well up there. We'll see if he can pick up some spots and see how this plays out.
So field 2x2, ready to go back to the green flag. Live points left side of your screen, and you can see them just changing as we even work under the yellow flag. John Theodore is back on the racetrack, P14 at the moment, with everybody about even. And Clayton Hoffman 6 points above the cut line now. Not a lot to gain being in P8, but everything to lose. If he were to lose a handful of spots here, that could net him an elimination from the playoffs. Ready to go back green, side by side. Vincent Arthur, Boyd Hogan, your top two. Arthur hits the loud pedal, and he gets in front of Boyd Hogan already, but a little bit loose coming off of that front stretch chicane. They dive into turn number 1, and Arthur is able to pull away, albeit by a couple of feet. They're still slamming into each other in the back. A couple cars around. Chris Severa goes around. Clayton Hoffman is involved from above the cut line. Hoffman is going to be under it.
Well, that's going to change a lot for the cutoff. We'll see how the rest plays out as we got Vincent here side by side with Boyd going to the double F. Vincent goes around. Huge change here in the running.
Changes at the cut line, changes at the front of the field as well. There's the incident, a touch to Hoffman from Severa. They go slamming into the wall, and Vincent Arthur, a spin coming through turn 6, just moves him now down into P12. Hogan back to the front. Was it contact? What on earth happened here? It was a little bit of contact, maybe, but Arthur was off pace on the inside and got loose going into that corner. And now Jacob Shorba's around at the chicane on the back straightaway. Everything is happening right now with 8 laps to go. Got loose on the inside, Breyer, and now that's going to move Vincent Arthur all the way down to almost outside of the top 10. He's able to get back into 10th place now, but Hogan is right back to the front.
Yeah, I wouldn't count out Logan Helton either. He's P4. Let's see if he can run him down here. He's going to have to get through 2 cars to get to him and gain a little bit of time, but we know Logan had the better long-run car, even though it's sort of a just shootout here. We'll see if Logan can run him down here with the laps remaining.
7 to go. Time very quickly running out here. And here's the issue with Jacob Shorba. Oh, got a little bit too much on the turtle curb. Slams down. That suspension rebounds, and that moves him over and off to the side. David Santini, you're on board with now. Currently runs P3, but out in front, it is all Boyd Hogan. A good run from David Santini. Won last night in the National Series. Was looking for a good finish here in the Premier Series at the Roval. Unfortunately, it looks like that sweep is a little bit far out of reach as the 96, the dominant driver all night, Boyd Hogan, dominant driver all season, I should say, currently continues to run at the front of the field. Continuing on out of turn number 4. It'll be 6 to go at the line for Hogan. Looking to also completely sweep the round of 8 when it comes to wins. Here's Logan Helton, just suffering a speeding penalty on the stage 2 break. Worked his way back up through the field. Now runs in P4 after that last full course caution. Looking to get by David Santini. Ryan Strunk up into P6, was in P5, now gets passed by Brandon Davis. Interesting to see from the 77. I think if we take a look at the lap points, and Davis is off. Brandon Davis, it's a huge shot and into the tire barrier.
Big contact there for Davis. Not sure that's what he wanted. Definitely not what he wanted, that's for sure. But we'll see if he can recover from that incident. Looked like a, not an all right hit, but enough to recover and just keep going on for the last couple laps.
So he got past Strunk, and it wasn't contact. He just got very loose coming into that corner there. That was turn number 3. Overturned it, went into the tire barrier. Now, the way the points are working out, I believe if we can get the live points, Ryan Strunk, who currently runs P5, and mind you, is trying to hold off both Braxton DeWeese and Vincent Arthur. He's 1 point under the cut line with DeWeese passing him. This moves Theodore above the cut line. Hoffman and Severa made contact, moves them under the cut line. Theodore is now back above the top 8, and Ryan Strunk has an opportunity to get that spot. He gets loose coming off of the front stretch chicane, and now with 2 points to make up, that's going to make the opportunity for the 77 a lot more slim. But John Theodore now from P10, Breyer, just needs to try and keep going positive.
Oh yeah, absolutely. With Hoffman and Chris having an incident there off the restart, I think everything has gone John Theodore's way. And man, he probably should play the lottery with how lucky that's put him in a spot. But you couldn't ask for much more. John Theodore's gotten everything put in his way. Let's see if he can continue and hold on to the 2 point gap he's got.
Yeah, 2 points above that cut line. And it was tied at 1 point, went multiple different ways, and now when Theodore was, I believe, at 1 point when he went in to get the damage repaired in the pit stop, 6 points under, goes to 2 points over. Goes to show just how quickly the points can change, especially at a track like the Charlotte Roval. 4 laps to go this time by, and Boyd Hogan out in front. You're on board of Jacob Shorba, trying to get himself a little bit further up the field as he is currently P14 after the spin, trying to catch up to Steven Davis in front of him. Davis only 5 points above the cut line as Vincent Arthur gets past Braxton DeWeese, but Arthur back into the top 5. Your one to watch here, Breyer, is definitely making the most after that spin that he had coming through turn 6.
Yeah, absolutely. It was unfortunate to spin from the lead, but at least he recovered. He's holding on to a top 5 finish right now. Braxton holding on tough. Let's see if he can rally back and try and get that 5th spot back. I know he's good enough to do it. He's got to hit his marks and see if he can do it and finish top 5.
On board with Joseph McWhorter, trying to hold off Logan Helton. You can see him about 3.5 tenths back. McWhorter is into the playoffs. Same thing with Helton. Same thing with Boyd Hogan, who currently leads. Look at the contact being made through the middle of the backstretch chicane as Logan Helton tries to get by Joseph McWhorter. David Santini watching all this happen in front of him. And here they come into the front stretch chicane, very close together, but Helton not able to get the point where he could make a move work. And with 3 to go, Helton's just running for a little bit more points as he's already locked into the playoffs. McWhorter is as well. They're just racing for bragging rights at this point, Breyer, and take a look at how close they get coming through the infield, almost making contact again.
Yeah, the battle for second is heating up very intensely here. Santini looks along in 4th spot. If something happens with how crazy this race has been, he could finish second here, be close to a sweep, not quite enough. As Helton looks to the inside there, side by side, gonna single file back out, getting back onto the banking, but Helton is right there stalking, ready to pounce, see if he can get the move done.
Onto the banking. Ovals turn 1 and 2. Helton trying to chase him down. McWhorter doing an amazing job right now of defending. How long can he keep that going, though? Issue in the back. Brandon Davis spins again through the infield. We stay on the bottle for P2 as McWhorter has the spot. Helton now right on the back bumper through ovals 3 and 4. And back to the front straightaway. Boyd Hogan takes 2 to go. Helton onto the grass for a little bit, trying to get an arch through the front stretch chicane. Not able to make up any ground. He'll stay P2 for the moment.
Helton still stalking McWhorter here. He hits the turtle a little too rough there. It's going to cost him a little bit of time coming through the infield section. He's got to hit his marks here to be able to get the move done. Boyd's taken off to a 6.5 second lead. He's probably just going to ride this one out and cruise to a win here, but anything can happen. I'm sure he's going to be smooth and hit his marks, but the battle for second still going on. This one's going to be a fun one to watch.
The battle on the cut line is all but over as John Theodore continues to extend it. Ryan Strunk continues to lose spots. Now this has changed as Hoffman gets up above that 10th spot. And now Hoffman goes around Strunk. This very quickly turned from Theodore +3 to Theodore +1 currently, as Clayton Hoffman sits in 9th place right now.
We got trouble getting on the baking. Theodore turns Strunk. He's going to lose spots doing it too. That's going to change the cut line.
Some slight contact coming out of the infield. Theodore did not look happy about that contact. It's Canterbury RV, 1 to go. The cut line is back even. Theodore needs to pass one more driver if he wants to get above that cut line and be good from a tiebreaker. Hoffman is a couple of tenths back from Severa, a couple of tenths up from Shorba. He doesn't have any opportunity to pass anybody. Theodore needs to try and get by Stephen Davis. They come to the white flag this time.
Hoffman closing in on Chris here. He's got a chance to make it happen. Theodore also closing in here on the 92 of Stephen Davis. He's going to go around. Contact again. Theodore in trouble. He's going to get it back going. The 91's going to get back around here. Does Theodore keep it going? He loses another spot. I think that's going to even back out. Hoffman still closing in on the 62 of Chris Severa. Let's see if he can get that done. He's close. He might make it happen.
Theodore made a look to the inside once again. Could not do it. Will he look again on the 91 to try and get that spot and move his way up above the cut line? Sweeping in the round of 12 for the Midwest Sim Racing Association Premier Series and winning for the 15th time this season in his 24th start. Boyd Hogan takes the win from the Charlotte Roval. What a run for the Legacy Esports number 96. Helton comes home P2 in the end. And Hogan's gonna celebrate the Tom's Heartburn turn, and with 1 point good to the cut line after passing Chris Severa in turns 3 and 4 of the oval. And coming home in P8, your final transfer spot goes to Clayton Hoffman in the 12.
Huge respect to Hoffman there. It's not over till it's over. It goes to show that you need to keep it going every lap you can, and he made it pay off. A lot of crazy things going on there at the end.
Boyd Hogan walks away with the race win. Would like to remind you that Dirty Air 13 is a proud sponsor of the MSRA Premier Series. Visit twitch.tv/Dirty Air 13 to see Gary Sexton's in-car perspective of the races that he participates in here in the MSRA Premier Series. Boyd Hogan, the big winner tonight from the Charlotte Roval, and he wins for the 15th time this season. What a way to finish the round of 12 of the MSRA Premier Series playoffs. For results and interviews with the drivers of the MSRA Premier Series is coming up next. Boyd Hogan is victorious from the Roval on Podium Esports.
Waltrip, Marlin, Petty, Earnhardt. These are just a few of the greats to add their names into the Nashville Fairgrounds Speedway record books. Who adds their name this time around? All-American Esports 400 returns to iRacing's virtual Nashville Fairgrounds Speedway October 23rd through 24th. Register now at podiumesports.com/AA400. Sign up before October 17th to receive discounted registration for the weekend. Write your name in history. All-American Esports 400.
Welcome back to coverage of the MSRA Premier Series playoffs. We have the 8 drivers who go to the round of 8. Let's see how they finish in the Shorba's Racing Graphics 125 from the Roval. Boyd Hogan grabs the win with Logan Elton in second. Vincent Arthur, Braxton DeWeese, and Joseph McWhorter round out your top 5. David Santini with Evan Longaker, Clayton Hoffman, Chris Severa, and Jacob Shorba, the top 10. And only 16 drivers took the green flag tonight. Back from there, they finished as Brandon Davis and Stephen Davis 11th and 12th, with John Theodore, Ryan Strunk, James Howard, and Zach York rounding out the 16 drivers who took the green flag tonight. Chevy dominance at the front, as most of, I believe, the top 7, all Chevys at the end of this one. The lone Toyota and John Theodore finishing in P13. A lot happened in those last couple of laps, and he unfortunately finishes underneath the cut line. We enter the post-race show here for the MSRA Premier Series. Boyd Hogan is your race winner. Joins us here in the broadcast booth. Boyd, race win number 15 for the season. You seemed confident when we talked to you during the Capital Auto Group pit road report during the Stage 1 break, and it looked like that confidence has paid off. Congratulations.
I appreciate it. It was more eventful than I think I was expecting, but it was a good time.
Definitely a lot of excitement, especially closer to the end of that race. That full course caution restart definitely changed a lot of things up. When that caution came out, of course, a mistake from race control. What was going through your mind now in terms of strategy? Because you did come down in the pit lane, you got 4 fresh tires. Was there any sort of option in your brain of let's stay out, maybe keep the track position and try and defend on worn tires?
I mean, it's definitely, I was surprised nobody did, but ultimately I felt like we had probably the best car here, and I'd rather be able to be aggressive with it than be on defense. So that was more, as soon as it came out, I knew we were probably going to have to pit and put ourselves in a bit of a hole, but honestly, you know, restarting second there, it wasn't too bad, and obviously Vincent and Logan were pretty good on pace, I think, all night, but they were missing just that little bit, so I was pretty confident I could get back by Vincent. I thought it was going to take a lot longer than what it did, but it was a good one.
Well, now, as we enter into the round of 8, you sweep the round of 12, Vegas, Dega, and the Roval. We have Texas, Kansas, and Martinsville coming up in the round of 12. Is your confidence level just as high as it was for this round that you can go in, dominate again, and be one of the championship 4?
I mean, I don't know about dominate. There's a number of good people in this league that can kind of show up in any given week and be fast. I think obviously we're one of them, and my confidence in our team has been higher in the last probably 4 or 5 months than I think it ever has been. So we'll keep coming out with good cars and keep everybody on their toes, and I'm excited for Kansas and Martinsville for sure. Texas, I still hate that place. It's a complete dumpster fire, but I know our car is good there, so yeah, I'm looking forward to it for sure.
Well, fast car at Texas, at least, even if you're not a fan of it. Which track in that round of 8 do you see as the best opportunity that you have to walk away with that win for the championship 4? Even though you don't like Texas, do you think you have the fastest car there, or is it going to be more Kansas or Martinsville that you can see that win coming?
I mean, it'll be crazy. Obviously, LDR and Nexus got to get their cars together for Texas still. Honestly, I'd say Martinsville. It's probably one of my best tracks on the sim, and I mean, just one of my favorites to turn laps around. So I'd say Martinsville's probably the one that would be circled there. But at the same time, you never know. It's as much of a wild card as the rest of these, and you just gotta play it by ear.
Well, thank you so much for joining us here in the broadcast booth, Boyd. And once again, congratulations on your win from the Charlotte Roval.
Thank you. Shout out to all of our partners at Legacy here. Blackstone Management, Kevin Kirchar, Herb Records, all you guys, everything you guys are doing for us. Appreciate it. And obviously you guys on podium for the broadcast. glad to see Briar in the booth.
Hello.
It's gonna
Thank
be
you.
a good time. Hey.
That was an
Thank you
awesome
very
drive.
Yeah, awesome
you. I
job. Thank you very
appreciate
much for joining us in the broadcast booth, Boyd. And hopefully we're seeing you back in Victory Lane in 1 week's time from Texas.
Yes, sir. We'll see you then.
Great to hear from your race winner, Boyd Hogan. And now standing by with Logan Heltson, driver of the number 63. It's Brian LaPrade, my colleague here in the booth.
Logan Helton, that was an awesome recovery from the speeding penalty. I was looking forward to seeing how you were going to recover from that. Did perfect, honestly, if it came back to second. Would you have rather have had that race go green and see what you could have done on that long run, or did you appreciate the cat bringing out the yellow for us?
I appreciate the cat bringing out the yellow just so I can recover, but to be it's kind of mixed. I kind of wish we could have gone green and see where I could have gotten, but thank you Pandora for the caution.
Yeah, absolutely. So how'd the car feel? It looked like you were doing great. I know earlier you said you didn't have a ton of short run or mid run speed. Just slowly kept coming to you as the run went on. Looked like you handled it pretty well. Tire wear looked great. You handled it perfect, I think, honestly. But yeah, how'd it feel?
Thank you, Briar. I didn't have a whole lot of practice laps, so I was kind of figuring out as I went, and I figured out my speed and where I needed to be. And yeah, I mean, I just thought the car felt fine for what I wanted to. It was probably me that wasn't as fast as Boyd, and not the car. So all I needed was maybe an attempt at practicing for this race, and then I probably could have been up there more with Boyd.
Absolutely, practice is very important. And next year for Road to Pro, hopefully that practice comes in. I know you're very, very talented. Looking forward to see what you can do in Road to Pro next year. But yeah, do you have anyone to thank for this race?
Yeah, well, thanks to you guys over at Podium, and thank you to you, Briar, as well, for all those very nice words. It makes me feel better. Thanks to my friends and family for watching the race. Thanks to Nexus Esports for the help, Splash and Go Graphics for this awesome red, white, and blue paint scheme, and thanks to MSRA for all they do for us. And I forgot, I have to go thank the sponsors. I forgot the sponsors. Yes, here we go. Okay, these are out of date. Yeah, everything that they want us to thank you to them.
Well, sounds good. Awesome drive tonight. Looking forward to see what you can do in the rest of this league. Obviously, I'm friends with Ralph Hutchison, so I keep up. I pay attention. I watch this league. Looks like a ton of fun. Obviously, tonight showed. But good luck, and good luck in the round of 8. Yep.
Thank you very much.
Good to hear from Logan Heltson, driver of the number 63. Transitioning over now to Vincent Arthur in the 24. He rounds out your top 3 spots on the podium. Vincent, it wasn't enough there at the end, but let's talk about the first couple of stages before we talk about stage number 3. Stage 1 and 2, you had some decent speed, just couldn't keep up with Boyd there towards the end. What was that main challenge you were facing in the number 24 tonight?
I think it was just rear grip. I feel like we had really good fire off speed compared to Boyd. We just, I don't know. I overdrove my stuff early, thinking we could hold on. And then once he got by, I blew the chicane, and it was pretty much that was my stage 1. So, to come home 4th in that stage, I was pretty happy with it. I was pretty mad at myself, but I know I had some stages to go. To start stage 2. I don't know. Every time I fired off on fresh tires, it was something different. So, car threw me up into the outside fence, and I got a lot of damage from that. So, that surely didn't help me. But I felt like the balance was still the same. So I figured we still had a chance. Once everything got heated up, the car was the same every time. But going into the final stage, fired off. Probably the best it had been all night. I don't know if the track was heating up or if it had cooled down a little bit or whatever it went through. I liked the way our car fired off. I just knew we were going to lack a little bit of speed there. So it was just conserving because that was the longest stint we were going to have to do, which actually got cut up into 2. So when that caution came out, I kind of knew it was going to be interesting having the first pit stall. I figured, I might be able to get the lead off pit road. It's happened before, and I've won races like that before. And I got the lead, but car fired off. I mean, terrible, absolutely horrible. I don't know what got into that thing, but it was it was the worst it's been all day. So obviously had the spin. And then at that point I was just mad. So put my head down, went to work, somehow went from 12th to 3rd in 5 laps. So I wish, on any other given day, I'd be happy with 3rd place, but I feel like we really threw away a chance at the win today. We had a fast car, just way too many mistakes.
Well, you are into the next round of the playoffs, at least the round of 8. Texas, Kansas, and Martinsville. Can you put together a good round and be one of those championship 4? Because now we really have the top 8 at the end of this playoffs, and it's going to be a lot of tough competitors, including Boyd Hogan, Logan Helton, Ralph Hutchison, and more. Can you be one of the championship 4 and go championship racing in Phoenix?
I hope so. Texas is looking promising so far, but I feel like we really need to put our head down and get our stuff together for the next 3 weeks. I feel like momentum has been just non-existent, especially over the playoffs when you need it the most. So hasn't been there. We'll try to see if we can get it back on track. I think Texas and Kansas back to back are going to be 2 really big races for us. Try to get enough points. Hopefully go and win one of those things. But obviously Boyd and Legacy and everybody over there has been, they've figured something out on the mile and a half, and it's always been like that. So we'll see what we can do next week. I'm looking forward to Kansas. Kansas is always a lot of fun, and then try to survive Martinsville, really. Hopefully it's not a caution fest and we can actually get some green flag racing in there. But everybody over at GLM, the Triad Alliance, ERG, Crixus, they've been putting in hours. We probably have a couple thousand laps under our belt in Texas already. So that car is looking promising. So we just got to put together a couple good runs and hopefully be good momentum heading into Phoenix, and hopefully we're one of those championship 4.
Vincent, thank you so much for joining us here in the broadcast booth, and congratulations on your 3rd place finish.
Thank you.
Well, as we continue the post-race show, we'll get an opportunity to speak one last time with our in-race reporter, Jacob Shorba, who was able to walk away with a 10th place finish here tonight. Joining us in the broadcast booth now, Jacob, definitely wasn't the run you were looking for, but stage 3 definitely proved to be a little bit of a challenge for you and the team in the number 30 car tonight.
Yeah, last stage was hard, and the good thing is that it didn't end up mattering at the end of the day. So I can get the bad racing out of the way now and hopefully not do that next round, because next round you can't mess up or your season's over unless you win. So, but the car, just like the handling kind of went away. I got the one spin early in stage 3, and that set me back, and it just wasn't the same after. I know Vincent also had a problem running in first with it, so I don't know what it was, but it seemed like he didn't keep up with the track well in that final stage, and we just all struggled as a team, other than David, I guess. But
well, as you worked through that stage, at least you were able to gain a couple of spots back. And like you mentioned, you're into the round of 8, continuing alive for the playoffs. Texas, Kansas, Martinsville. Where's the confidence level at for you and the team as you guys go into 2 intermediates and a short track? We've heard Legacy has some very fast cars on intermediates. We know that, but and Martinsville is about a game of survival. So out of those 3, do you think you could put together 3 good races and walk away with a spot in Phoenix in the championship 4?
I think we absolutely can. I think these races are really good for us. The problem is that where I've been running all year is not going to be good enough to get it done. I've got to be running top 5 every single race during the stages as well. And even that could end up not being enough because you get someone else who wins. It's going to be hard, but it's going to require me to do the best racing I've done all year, manage to get my first win, and that's going to require a really crazy good week or something nice at the end of a race on maybe a green, white checkered. But it's going to take a lot. I'm very happy with the tracks we have, but it's going to be really hard.
Thank you so much for being our in-race reporter tonight, Jacob, and thank you for joining us in the broadcast booth post-race. Congratulations on your top 10 finish, and we look forward to seeing you in the round of 8, the playoffs.
Yeah, absolutely. Thank you.
One driver was eliminated along with 3 others at the end of the night, but we are standing by with one of them now. Brian LaPrat is with John Theodore, finished just about 2 points under the cut line at the checkered flag.
John, unfortunate to end it like that, but you put up a good fight. Absolutely. I know you stream over there on Twitch, so I'm sure you gave him a good show. but came out on the wrong end of it. What went wrong there, you think?
Yeah, pretty much everything. I mean, bottom line is that I didn't have a good round the entire round. I finished 12th at Vegas after getting caught up in wreck. I finished 12th at Talladega, and then road courses aren't my strong suit. I knew that I needed to have a better point cushion coming in here. I was practicing all week. I ran 2A opens today, practicing, trying to get better. Felt like I had good speed. Then I wrecked it in qualifying, so I didn't get a good starting spot, and just, you know, one thing after another, and I was a wrecking ball on that last lap trying to get any point that I could. That just didn't have enough at the end of the day.
It happens. It's racing. Don't know. I think you put on a good show, honestly, though. Like I said earlier, you stream on Twitch. I'm sure the fans were rooting you on and all that. I was rooting you on up here in the booth. But yeah, don't. I'm losing train of thought here. Anyways, what were you saying?
No, yeah. I mean, you know, congrats to the guys moving on to the round of 8. Honestly, every single one of them deserves it more than I do after the performance I put on through this round. So, really got no one to blame but myself at the end of the day. Most of the mistakes that put me in the hole were my own. So, yeah, congrats to them. It's been a fun season, and yeah, you know, thanks to Any for bringing me on as an affiliate. Been a pleasure running them on the car this year, and that's about it. Thanks to you guys at Podium up there in the booth, continuing to do a great job for us.
Thank you for that. And head up, man. You're a great guy, great racer. Just like I said, came out on the wrong end of it, but like I said, head up, keep going, finish out the season strong.
Yep. Thanks, man.
1 week from today, we're going racing at the virtual Texas Motor Speedway for the beginning race of the round of 8 in the playoffs. Briar, we know the challenges that come with the Texas Motor Speedway, especially the newer Texas here on iRacing, but either way, going to provide some exciting action, is going to provide a bit of a preview of what we're going to see for the rest of that round.
Yeah, Texas is a tough place. I know it's tough to set up. You got completely different types of banking in 1 and 2 and 3 and 4. These drivers are going to have a difficult time setting that car up. They also need to try and set up to avoid as much dirty air as possible. That track is known for a lot of dirty air, tough to pass. So it's going to be interesting to see how they set up their cars coming into next week and see what they can do to finish out the next round.
We hope that you are with us for the next round of the MSRA Premier Series from virtual Texas Motor Speedway. But unpacking the Shorba's Racing Graphics 125 here from the Charlotte Roval. Briar, great job, first time in the booth, and we saw some exciting action tonight. Battles all over the racetrack, a late race accidental full course caution leading to an intense restart with carnage happening everywhere. Great to see, and a great battle for the cut line to round out this season of the playoffs.
Yeah, absolutely. I enjoyed tonight. Would love to come back. Probably should keep the race suit on, even though I'm not wearing one right now, but you know what I mean, just keep the race suit on, do my thing out on track. But I had a ton of fun, would love to come back. So I'll work on my commentary skills for next time, see if I can warm up a little bit more.
And remember, everybody can catch Briar in the eNASCAR Road to Pro Contender iRacing Series that will begin here on Podium in the month of November, 5 Tuesdays in a row. Make sure you tune in for that. That'll do it for our coverage of the MSRA Premier Series here from the Charlotte Roval. We have a ton of great upcoming events that are on the horizon here on Podium Esports, starting with the SimMax Cup Series powered by MPI tomorrow night from Pocono, Sunday, October 10th, 9:15 p.m. Eastern Time on twitch.tv/Podium Esports. Then the finale round of the eNASCAR Coca-Cola iRacing Series from the Texas Motor Speedway, Tuesday, October 12th. That's coverage starting at 8 p.m. Eastern Time, twitch.tv/iRacing. PCA Sim Racing returns with Series 7 and the third event of the series at Circuit Gilles Villeneuve on Wednesday and Friday. That's October 13th and 15th at 9 p.m. Eastern Time on iRacing.com/live. The Force Dynamics Dallara iRacing Grand Prix returns on Thursday from virtual Silverstone. That'll be at 3 p.m. Eastern Time on twitch.tv/iRacing. And then the beginning of the round of 8 for the MSRA Premier Series from the virtual Texas Motor Speedway. Speedway, October 16th, 8 p.m. Eastern Time. You can catch it all on Podium 2's Twitch channel, Podium YouTube, Podium Twitter, and Facebook. For Jacob Shorba and everyone at the Midwest Sim Racing Association, for James Pike, Cisco Scaramuza, Gary Sexton, and John Theodore at Podium Esports, and for tonight's team, our producer Ryan Bauer, cameras by Dougie Beard, and for my colleague in the booth, Briar LaPrade, my name is Joshua Lee. Thank you so much for watching tonight's broadcast, and we hope to see you tomorrow night for the Sim Max Cup Series powered by MPI.